Hello friends, I am Shravana and welcome back to my channel Sparkling Future. Today we will discuss about tail recursion. Before starting with today's topic, I request all of you to subscribe to my channel and also please like, share, comment and hit the bell icon for the latest video notifications. Thank you. So usually recursion is a method which breaks the bigger problem into smaller subproblems and it calls itself for each of the problem. Actually it simply means that function calling itself, that is called as recursion. So in Scala there is a concept of tail recursion. We will discuss further about this. Okay. So we all know how traditional recursion works, right? Technically both are same, the recursion or tail recursion under the hood, but what exactly computer compiles the code and the memory is managed, only that is the difference between these two, the traditional recursion and the tail recursion. And in the traditional recursion method, right, so after getting the input, like everything will have like a iteration, right? So let's say from 0 to 5 there is a iteration is happening. So first after processing the first one, the input, right, whatever is there, and it will pass to the itself. 0 is there, then 0 will be passed an input to this function, and again whatever with 0 or 1 it would have computed some details, right? So that details will be saved in a stack, so that partial result, then what will happen, for example for 0 it is processing something, then it will keep it in the uh, somewhere stack, and again it will process for the one, and till then this partial result will be kept in the stack. Okay. Similarly, until all the entire iteration is, I mean entire loop is completed, till then this partial result will be kept in the stack, and the finally after the last call the final result will be generated and sent back to the user. This is why when we use the recursion function, most of the cases many of us encountered stack overflow exception. That is because of the stack uses for memory in working with the recursion. So but in tail recursion, what is the benefit of using it is the partial result, right? Whatever is generated in the iteration, the partial result will be sent to the next call along with the input data, or we can say unprocessed data. So this process follow until all the calls are completed, then the final result will be sent back, which means the class don't need the stack here. Okay, it's memory, very memory effective. So the input itself, I mean the what is the processed partial result will be sent as input. So because of that it is it won't use the stack, that's why it is very memory effective, and it also eliminates the stack overflow exception. Okay, so now this is about theory about tail recursion. Now let's look into some sample code to understand this. I've just created one very simple object. Okay, so now usually for example for this, right, most of us use Fibonacci series. Okay, so we will just see what is Fibonacci series and we'll see how to solve that. So this is called the Fibonacci series, which means that the previous number and the current number, if you sum it up, it will generate the next number. Okay, so for getting this one, we should sum up 1 and 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Okay, so 2 plus 1 equal to 3, 3 plus 2 equal to 5, 5 plus 3 equal to 8, 8 plus 5 equal to 13, 13 plus 8 equal to 21, 21 plus 13 equal to 34, and so on. So this is called as Fibonacci series. Here if you notice, for every current number, we have to sum the -1 and -2. So it's like a iterative, right? Every time it has to consider the previous two values and sum up with the current one, then only it will I mean manages the, it prints the Fibonacci series. So that's how it works. And if you notice here, every time it has to call itself, right? I mean if you write it in calling multiple functions, instead of that we use recursion for Fibonacci series usually. So now let's write the code for printing this series using the tail recursion. Okay, so now let's create one method which takes the input as integer. Okay, because we should say 5. If we say 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 iterations it should complete and it should print the value. Okay, so and then returning also will be int. And now what we will do is, this is the main function for Fibonacci. And because we have to use the tail recursion functionality and we have to add this annotation. Okay, what is annotation and all we'll see later, but for now you just remember this, right? At the rate and tail rec, this is the very important annotation. You have to use it for the while using the tail recursion. Now after this, whatever we declare is the tail recursion function that we are using. Okay, so why we have here all is I will explain in a minute, but let me write the code for this. So now let's have a small function called feb. Okay, for this we have to pass the integer whatever we are getting from here, and we should have some initial values, correct? So for that we will take it as a and b, some initial values. Okay, so I'll explain you that also with some example, then you can easily understand. So if you see here, if it is 0, the value of 0th position is always 0, so that's why we are taking it as 0. Okay, and then if you see that second one also 1, if you take the 1 it will be 1. That is because 0 and 1, even though if we are sending only 0, right, then it will return 0. For example, if we are sending 1 in as the input to this function, so what it will do is 1 and the previous one is 0. So for counting like that, we are mentioning like if the 0 means take it as 0, 1 is take it as a 1, and then if it's something else. Okay, if it's something else, then what we have to do, we have to first let me print. Okay, and also we'll call the same function again. For two things here we have to call it, like first we have to take the previous one and then b, and then we have to sum it up, the previous one and the n minus 2. Okay, and hope this is closed. Yeah, here it is closed. Some brace is missing. Okay, and n comma 0 comma 1. Okay, for using the tail recursion, first one is using this annotation at tail rec, and the second one is the last line of the method. Tail recursion method should be the call to itself. If you notice, this is the last. After this, what if you say even the println also, it will give error saying that it will expect this to be the last line of the method. Okay, so now this is the method. So now let's write the main to run this code. let's say 5. Okay, so we have started. This is done here, this is done here, this is done here, and inside that we have made which is correct. Okay, so now here I am passing it. So let's start with the main method. In the main method, usually you know, right, main is the one first will be called. So inside the main method we are sending is at 5. And why I have taken a high level function here is for calling any function, anyone would want to send only the number for how many numbers in a series they wanted to have. So here we need the 0 and 1 here, but I don't want to send that, show that to the end user. So that's why I have created a function like this, and then here we have the annotation, and inside that is the main function for fetching the Fibonacci series. So which says that here, let's say we are here we have the 5, no. So once first time when it enters to here, it will not execute this, correct, because this is just a definition and we are not calling anywhere, and this will become the initial one, which is like 5 and 0 and 1. Got it? So once it will become 5 0 1, and again we are having a call to this same function. Now for the second iteration it will call here. Okay, and now it will call it, it will send 5 0 1. Okay, so now n we are matching here with a pattern matching code. So it's not 0, it's not 1, it's 5. So it will come here, it will search for, it will print a is what here, 0. So first it will print 0, and then in the Fibonacci series again it is calling the same function again. It's a function call to itself. So n minus 1 is what, 4, and for here it should be a, right? So for a we are sending b, means what, 1. Okay, and this will become 4, this will become 1, and a plus b equal to again 1. So which will be sent it as b here, and similarly it will come here. Now case is 4, in the sense n is 4 here because we have given it as minus 1. So 4, then again it's 0 1 will be sent back. So once it is sending, then again it is a is changed to b. Now if you notice here, a means in the previous iteration it has changed to b, so it will become as 1. Now it will become a plus b. A plus b means again 0 plus 1 is 1. Now 1 plus 1 equal to 2. So now for b we are sending it as a 1 plus 1 2. Hope you understood. Please make sure that you concentrate this very clearly. It's a bit confusing. If you notice here, from the input we are always subtracting 1, and we are passing b value to the a, and what is b value is which will be computed in the previous step by summing up a and b. This is where we have the summing up, summed up the total, and this is where we are passing the previous one, like if this is a, then this is b, kind of, right? So here b means whatever is summed up in the previous circle and the previous cycle, and that is being sent to a here, which means that if we wanted to get this result, then first this result will become b and this result will become a. Similarly it will continue for this. So now what will it, this is 2. So what it will print is this is b, right? B has been passed to a, so it will become 2. Okay, so now for the next one it will become 3. For 3, what is the b already is 2, and a plus b is a is equal to 1 and b equal to 2, which is 3. Okay, so and so on, it will calculate and it will print the remaining numbers in the series. Okay, so now this is the code for generating this Fibonacci series. So now let's run this code and see. We have asked for 5, right? So it has printed 0 1 1 2. So now let's put it as 10. Let's say print, because it's returning the line by line, right? So I'm changing it like that. So if you see here 0 1 1, it has considered Fibonacci series. Okay, so this is how we will calculate the Fibonacci series, friends. Hope this is useful. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more interesting learnings. Thank you.